Jackass. Jason. Jason the Jackass. There you go. Jason Jackass Johnson. Can we go with that? Jason Jackass Johnson. It's a lot of J's. It's an alliteration. It's what it's called in poetry. Jason Johnson was on the Karen Hunter Show on XM Radio. He made some comments about black girls. He made other comments, too, that didn't make the news, but he made some comments about misfit black girls. Misfit black girls, y'all. Not unlike the nappy-headed hoes that Don Imus said not too long ago, which caused the downfall of Don Imus. Radio veteran died still with the stink of disrespecting black women. MSNBC Contributor Dr. Jason Jackass Johnson.
I do find it fascinating that racist liberal whites seem to love them some Bernie Sanders consistently and always have a problem with any person of color who doesn't want to follow with the orthodoxy of their Lord and Savior Bernie Sanders. The man cares nothing for intersectionality. And I don't care how many people from the island of misfit black girls that you throw out to defend you on a regular basis. Okay. It doesn't mean that your campaign is serious. I do find it fascinating that racist liberal whites seem to love them some Bernie Sanders consistently and always have a problem with any person of color who doesn't want to follow with the orthodoxy of their Lord and Savior Bernie Sanders. The man cares nothing for intersectionality. And I don't care how many people from the island of misfit black girls that you throw out to defend you on a regular basis. Okay. It doesn't mean that your campaign is serious.
Okay. All right, guys, so there you go. There goes Jackass Jason Johnson, Jason the Jackass Johnson, making comments, disparaging comments about black women surrounding, or black women from the Bernie Sanders campaign, black women who I consider personally friends. So I have a little bit of skin in the game on this. I'm going to try to set that aside to keep myself unbiased in my assessment of what he's saying here. I want it also to be known that I've had run-ins with with Jackass Jason Johnson in the past. I did try an intervention on the man. I mean, I physically tried an intervention. I physically, in the flesh, at a convention of Politicon, where I was a participant, a panelist, and he was a panelist, I saw him at Politicon doing this exact same thing. He was not on stage when he was doing it in that case, though. He was after being on stage. I walked into a room. This is all on YouTube. It's all documented. What I need is a sideline. I need a great audio restorer person to restore the audio from a video clip so that people can hear exactly every word that Jackass Jason Johnson said. I walked into this room and I saw Jackass Jason Johnson holding court with a few women, a couple white women, a black woman, if I remember correctly, were there. Also in that area was Zelina Maxwell, in earshot, just rustling and bustling about. I walked up, my cameraman, my son was there. We were filming the whole thing. It's all on film. It's indisputable. I walked in and Jason, the Jackass Johnson, is disparaging black women, Bernie supporters, which consist of black women and black men, disparaging us all, calling us pedophiles. This is what he did. He said Bernie supporters are like pedophiles. They are toxic, they're online. Bernie needs to discredit them just like you would a pedophile. You need to separate yourself from Bernie supporters. This is what he was saying to people. So that's all out there. And what I need, someone to DM me or email me so we can get this video more circulation. We need to get everyone to see it. The video was so damning, I thought he would get fired for that. I thought he would lose his job for comparing Bernie supporters to pedophiles. And I said to him on the clip, I said, Jason, do you really want to make that comparison? You don't think that's over the top? He said no. Someone that would hurt a child, he says, similar to exuberant or offensive or offending or insulting Bernie supporters online who post memes. So that's what we're dealing with here. Back to Dr. Jason Jackass Johnson. Folks, if there was here goes the litmus, right? I understand that there's a difference, that we treat people differently, a part of groups. If you're a part of one group or another group, you have a little bit more agency to make certain comments, and people will give you a little bit of more leeway. Let me put it this way. When Jason says these are black misfit black girls, the fact that he's black does give him some room, but not enough for him to get away with it. Not enough to get away with it, because he's disparaging all black women. Not a black woman. And maybe if he said this is a misfit black girl, he could get away with that. But to say black girls, first of all, it's a lot in that already. Because he's not even giving these women, grown-ass women that I know he's referring to in the Bernie Sanders campaign, because who can vote for Bernie? Only grown-ups, only adults over the age of the majority. So he's calling grown women girls. That's horrible in itself. That's bad enough to call someone a girl. Call a man a boy. These are not good things, okay? These are disrespectful, to put it mildly. But yeah, he's a black guy, so he thinks he can get away with this. This is fine. It's not fine. But some people would say it's fine, right? This is why people are calling right now, there's a hashtag, fire Jason Johnson. Right? Fire him. He might not get fired because he's talking about black women, and black women have no agency. You remember what Dave Chappelle said in this special? You saw a Netflix special? They told him he cannot say the word "baggot" on the network, on Comedy Central. He got called in the office and said, you can't say the word "baggot." He's like, well, okay. He said he left. He was walking away. He left. He said, I got a quick question. And he said, why can't I say baggot if I could say the N-word? And she said, well, you're not a baggot. And he said, but I'm not an N-word either. But to them, he is. So it was fine for him to use the N-word. He just couldn't use the word baggot because he is not of that identity. So get what I'm saying? So to those people who oversee, he has a job. To his employer, him disparaging other black people is fine. Now, if he would have disparaged people from other identities, maybe they'd have a problem with it. Get what I'm saying? But it's further than that, because my point is, if he would have disparaged anyone else other than black, he'd be gone. If he disparaged Bernie Sanders blatantly about Hughes, he'd be gone. If he disparaged Asians blatantly, he'd be gone. Jason Johnson's words here are problematic and wrong for a lot of reasons. I don't think he's going to get fired from anything. I don't think he's going to get fired. I don't even know if I want him to get fired, Johnson, because Johnson, he's still a Johnson. Of course, I think that something should happen to him, but he's a guy with a job. You know, it's hard for black people to find good work. This is really hard. Someone asked Brianna Joy Gray or Nina Turner what they think should happen. I would love to hear what Nina Turner thinks should happen. I would love to hear what Brianna Joy Gray thinks should happen. Maybe I'll invite her on the show. She's due to come on anyway. We were talking about it. She was supposed to come on my show. I'd like to know what she thinks. And whatever they think should happen, I'll support that, because I don't get to make that decision about how they feel about it. But back to what he said. What he said, there's no even Karen Hunter, who hates Bernie Sanders, she says she detests Bernie Sanders. I got her on record saying it. Her and everybody detest him. And finally today I found out really why. What's at the core of their disdain for Bernie. And it's not just them. It's a lot of black folks in media who can't stand Bernie Sanders. And I'm going to explain why. Why? But let's go back. Now that we got the misfit black girl part, we get it. We know it's wrong. He shouldn't have said it. That by itself is enough to lose his job. I'm not saying he should lose his job over that, but I think he should lose his job for other reasons. And I know how hard it is to come by jobs, so I hate to be the instrument of that. But if for this reason, if you feel like he should lose his job for saying misfit black girls, putting aside how you feel about him, personally, do you think that's enough to be fired? I don't know. But I do know that if Breonna Joy Gray and Nina Turner, Senator Nina Turner feel that way, if they've had enough of him and they think he's been badgering them and coming at them and being violent with his words towards them and these things, then I would support their whatever they feel needs to be done. And I would go on a campaign for that. Now, I want to play this one more time because I didn't talk so much. I want us to focus on what he was saying about white liberals. And since I got a lot of white liberals, hold on a second. I have a lot of white progressives watching my show. I don't have a lot of white liberals. I have some white liberals. I have some white progressives. I have some white agnostics. I have some black progressives. I have some black liberals. I have a few white conservatives. I have a few black conservatives. I got people of all. I got Asians, Latinos, Jewish folks. I got all types of people. Muslims. I got all types of people. This show is not divisive that we can't have different people. Nobody's butt get kissed on this show. So now let's go back to the clip one more time. Let's listen to what he says about white liberals and let's make the argument. Let's look at that. Because I think it's a conversation we can have that we should look at seriously. Don't just say, oh, it's no, get it out of here. I want to look at it. I'm not afraid to look at it. We're not afraid to look at issues, are we? No, let's take a look at it. Let's see if it makes sense. Right? See if it makes sense.
I do find it fascinating that racist liberal whites seem to love them some Bernie Sanders consistently and always have a problem with any person of color who doesn't want to follow with the orthodoxy of their Lord and Savior Bernie Sanders. The man cares nothing for intersectionality. And I don't care how many people from the island of misfit black girls that you throw out to defend you on a regular basis. Okay. It doesn't mean that your campaign is serious. I do find it fascinating that racist liberal whites seem to love them some Bernie Sanders consistently and always have a problem with any person of color who doesn't want to follow with the orthodoxy of their Lord and Savior Bernie Sanders. The man cares nothing for intersectionality. And I don't care how many people from the island of misfit black girls that you throw out to defend you on a regular basis. Okay. It doesn't mean that your campaign is serious.
Okay. Gosh. All right. So, wow. Wow, Johnson. You still there? All right. So, yeah, we're there. So he said that racist liberal whites love some Bernie Sanders. And they have a problem with people of color who don't fall in line with their personal Lord and Savior, Bernie Sanders or whatever. Racist liberal whites. Wow. So who are these people that are racist liberal whites? Who are you talking about? That's kind of a huge statement to make. Are we talking about the audience at MSNBC? Your audience? Are they racist, full of racist liberal whites? What people are you talking about? They have a problem with people of color not falling in line with Bernie Sanders. I think that racist liberal rights have a problem with black people in general. Don't matter. And who said Bernie Sanders had the market cornered on racist liberal whites? I'm not even going to argue that they don't exist. Hey, guys, I know you know me, and I know there are a lot of racist liberal whites. And if you don't know that, you don't get out enough, you don't know enough people. And if you're on the fence about it, and if you value my opinion at all, just take my word for it. There's a lot of racist liberal whites. Racist liberal whites. They'll help you, but then they'll say, for instance, they'll just say, take this card. Go get what you need. Use my card, though. I can't give you the money because I don't trust you. But go get what you need, though. I love you. I trust you, black person, just enough. I want to help you, but take the card and go do it. Well, I just said I need $100. But yeah, I know, but take the card. I need to see you use the card and give me and bring my receipt back. Well, other people just give me $100. Why do I need to use your card? And then that's racist. Oh, that's you being a real complete jackass. Something's going on. It can be interpreted as racism. People do things all the time they don't even think they see it as, they don't even see it as being racist. That's racist as hell. Your white friend, would you be like, yo, here no, I need $100. Okay, here you go. Or would you be like, here, take my ATM card. Go buy. What's it for? Oh, for your business? Okay, here's the card. Take it, use it, go buy it. Bring me the card back. Bring me my receipt back. Because I don't trust you, Blackie. Whitey. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that people don't realize that person saying, hey, I'm a nice person. I'm doing something nice for you. But I'm thinking, hey, that's kind of jacked up. Other people, other white people don't do that to me. Why are you doing that? Maybe you're a racist, liberal white person. You don't even know it. You could be one, or you could be perceived as one. And what I'm trying to tell you all, perception is everything. So I'm not even going to argue with him that this doesn't exist. Of course there's some racist white liberals in the Bernie Sanders world of support. But look, if you're going to tell me there are some racist white liberals in Klobuchar land, get the hell out of here. Come on, Johnson. You're going to tell me that Klobuchar and Biden and Pete, dude, it's all white people up there. You mean to tell, it's the argument is so dog shit. It's the most horrific argument at all. There's a bunch of white people up there. And he says just one of them has a bunch of racist white people. And I say, how you come up with that? Well, this black girl told me so. Yeah, she crunches numbers about racist white people. Well, how do you measure racist? It's a horrible statement. That might get his ass fired. Yeah, I'll just keep it real. This is America. If he gets fired, it'll probably be for saying that all these white people are racist white people. Racist white liberals, making a blanket statement about all white people who support Bernie, when those people are the same people they need to support Elizabeth Warren, the same people they would need to support Michael Bloomberg. They need these people. And he's calling them racist. It doesn't even make sense. Now, then he says, now this part is just, so it was done when he said black misfit girls for all the reasons we already know. This is also dumb to say racist liberal whites support Bernie. Now let's get to the other part where he says they have a problem with people of color not supporting Bernie. If you watch this show and you don't do political content, and you're not a contributor or a commentator, or you're not someone who frequents different silos of supporters, okay? If you don't, you might not be aware of this. But every candidate had supporters that were over the top. And I do mean every candidate. Jason is disingenuous as hell. He's a flat out liar. He's an effing liar. Yo, there have been Andrew Yang supporters who have chased me around the internet for weeks just for disagreeing with Yang. Just for disagreeing with Yang on something, like a tweet. Who won't leave me the hell alone? They have a problem. Do they have a problem with me not disagreeing with? Do they have a problem with me disagreeing with Yang because I'm black? Or does they have a problem with me disagreeing with him? I think they just got a problem with me disagreeing with him. It's not because I'm black. I've had Buttigieg people on my YouTube channel flood my comment section. Yes, the Buttigieg people, the happy dance people, these people, whatever that dance is they were doing, that shit, that annoying, horrible, never do that dance, that thing, those people were in my damn comment section, Johnson. In there hard. This was early in the cycle. You could go back to the videos. They're on my channel. I don't take shit down. I don't cut off comments. I said I don't cut off comments. So were they mad at me because I was black, or were they mad at me because I was running down Pete Buttigieg and calling him a racist jackass with horrible, horrible relations with black people in his own city that he was mayor of? I think it was because they disagree with my opinion. Julio Castro's people were riding for Julio with a passion that you may not understand. And you, Jason Johnson, knows that. Kamala Harris had people that saw her as the possibility of a black woman being president. They thought that she was attorney general, she's a senator, she was taking down the likes of Jeff Beauregard Sessions, and giving this other jackass, the guy who loves the beers, the beer guy, she was giving them the business. Like, they love Kamala. Do you know how angry they were when Kamala Harris dropped out this race? Do you not know the amount of vitriol that was slinging? See, if you stay in your own silo, you don't know this. But as a political analyst, a commentator who does this full time like I do, I know Jason is full of shit. And I know he knows it, because there is no way he hasn't experienced that backlash from commenting, if he's done it any truthful, if he's being unbiased at all, and commenting on these different campaigns with any amount of similarity and level of ferociousness or directness in language where you could piss people off, right? You can even walk on eggshells and people still get mad at you. So it's not even about that. But the point is, there is no way that this guy could ever think that their disdain for him had anything, that it was just one group of people. Because, guys, Elizabeth Warren supporters are pissed. They think every complaint that Bernie Sanders supporters have, Elizabeth Warren supporters have. You don't know that because you're not a part of that group. You're not in that tribe. You have no idea. They're sitting around right now. They're saying Elizabeth Warren fell to fourth place because she didn't get the coverage, because she was maligned in the press, because people were treating her biasly, because they were sexist. Like, all of this is real. They really feel this way. You may not agree with it. You don't be around it. It's just so many hours in a day. But if you do this work that I do, and you visit threads, and you put out content, then you will know. You will know without a shadow of a doubt that this shit exists everywhere throughout this race. It ain't just privy to one group. Dude, if you go to look, in Maryland, there's certain places you can go. There's certain gangs in certain areas. Okay? If you go on that turf, you might be around some MS-13 dudes. Okay? And they will cut you up and put you in a bag. Okay? But if you're in another part of town, there's some Crips. Now, if you're in the part of town where there are Crips, does that mean there's no MS-13? No, you in the Crip area. That's all it means. You are around where the Crips are. And if you got the wrong color on, or you looking at somebody the wrong way, you may not see Christmas. You understand? You might miss Christmas. You might miss your birthday, homie. But does that mean there's no MS-13, that there's no Bloods, that there's no Vice Lords, there's no no, it doesn't. Jason is a disrespectful, lying asshole. Is what he is, because there is no cop. See, we are cops, guys. We're like cops. We're like, and I don't mean that in a real way, but it's an analogy, okay? A commentator is like a police officer, a cop, a detective, that's a better term. We're like detectives. We go and look. We go and discover. Any detective worth their salt knows what's going on different blocks. They know what's happening. They know that crime exists everywhere. They know it's not just one area. There's different types of crime. And there's different levels of it. Some people get high on their stoop. Some get high in their dormitories. They all getting high, yo. For this guy to say there's only one type of marijuana usage going on, and that's the people on the stoop, it's BS. Like, if you're a good detective, you already know there's different ways people doing it. People going to the park and smoking, people smoking in parties, people smoking over their cousin's house, people smoking in their dorms, people smoking outside, people smoking everywhere. Like, this is what's going on. It's legal in D.C., people smoking everywhere. Okay? The bottom line is that every statement that he made here can be pushed back on with facts, with reason, with logic. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, first of all, to malign black women. It makes no sense to do that, to single them out as if there are no white women, there are no Asian women, there are no Latino women in the Bernie Sanders campaign, when it's the most diverse campaign. The most diverse campaign. Then to disrespect them and call them girls, not even women. Not even women. And I know for a fact that he's done this on more than one occasion with Breonna Joy. And I won't say how I know it, I just know it, okay? It's up to her to spill the tea on that. But in the private conversations way before, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, she said something that gave me that impression, but I'll leave that to her to explain. Because, see, he doesn't know. People talk. And then to say that the racist liberal whites are like they're exclusive, like Sanders has he has an outreach program. Racist liberal whites, please join the Bernie Sanders campaign. Like, that's like a recruiting tactic or something. No, it's not. It's not. They exist everywhere, just like anybody else exists everywhere. Like, this is a thing. And then lastly, to say that these people have a people with color who disagree. They have a problem. Campaigns have a problem with anybody who disagrees with the candidate for pretty much any reason. No one goes, oh, okay, you think my candidate sucks at this? Okay, cool. Like, some people do. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying you're going to find people in every campaign. I don't care what campaign it was, from the Yang Gang to the Buttigieg to, I don't know about Joe Biden, because now Joe Biden is the only, I have never heard of a Joe Biden supporter really felt strongly about Joe Biden. But I've heard people that feel pretty strongly about Pete. People felt very strongly about Yang. People felt very strongly about Tulsi Gabbard. People felt very strongly about Bernie Sanders. Like, some candidates, Kamala Harris, okay? There are candidates that people feel very strongly about. They touch a nerve. They are talking about things, you talk about life and death. Amy Klobuchar's not talking about life and death. She's not talking about saving the planet or even saving lives, really. She's not talking to people who are on the verge of homelessness or are homeless, or people at the fringes, at the people who are the most vulnerable. Like, she's not a candidate for those people. She makes no claim to be. So she's probably not attracting people who are that passionate about these issues. She's not attracting activists, people that would show up at a rally butt naked. Or people that would go outside in frigid weather and, like, just be out there just with a sign. Like, so anyway, I got on very longer than I expected. But I want you to know I want to give you all of that. So I disagree with everything that Jason said in that clip. I disagree with it all. Everything is refutable based on logic, reason, and facts. And I know he knows that. He knows better. He just chooses not to exercise that knowledge because it benefits him, guys. And I'm going to tell you this. I realize the game. The game is for him to attract that's why I didn't want to really talk about this, because this is what he wants. He wants us to talk about it. It's the Donald Trump playbook. He says irrational, hateful things about what? About black people. Jason would never say this about, though. He did. That's why he might be fired. But what started him down the road was the island of misfit black girls. That got all the play because black people are pissed off. It was on a black show. The war against Bernie Sanders is raging. And there are people on MSNBC right now. It's a ratings boom. They want the ratings, man. They want the controversy. They want the drama. Tell me they don't. JJ know what he was doing. He knows why he was doing it, and it's working out for him. Will it cost his job? I don't know. Joy Reid, she still got a job. She said alien hackers went back in time and rewrote her damn post. And that the FBI is looking for it, looking into it. That went back in time, made homophobic slurs on her own personal blog, locked it back up, closed it up, and then divulged it 10 years later. And then said the FBI was looking into it. And she's still employed. And she make almost $2 million a year. And then she'll go on TV like she did 2 days ago and say Bernie's the 1% and people don't like him because he makes too much money when she makes more than Bernie is worth every year. Just from her day job. Like Bernie's worth $2 million. He's 78. He's amassed $2 million worth of wealth for writing a best-selling novel. Joy Reid goes on the Joy Reid show. She goes on MSNBC post-debate and says Bernie, people got a problem with Bernie because he made $1.5 million, $2 million. Joy Reid makes $2 million every year just sitting on her ass on MSNBC. She didn't write a best-selling novel, and she makes that every year. She makes what Bernie's worth every year. But she says he's the other because he wrote a book and but she still has a job. So will Dr. Jason Johnson, see, they complain about being maligned. They're the chosen Negroes. These are chosen Negroes. It takes a lot to get rid of a chosen Negro. They do what you want them to do. They go out and they bash other black people. They go out and lie to black people for a living. Dr. Jason, this guy works for a paper that he doesn't own. He's an employee of a paper that's owned by people that don't look like you, lying to the world. The root, as if this is something to do with black people. It's just because it employs black people, that pimps the hell out of black people that they own. Hired hands. Same thing with MSNBC. They employ Joy Reid to lie to black people about Bernie. They employ Jason Johnson to lie to black people about whatever they want him to lie about. This is why he has a job. He didn't build an audience and say, I'm going to speak my truth to power. Neither did Joy. I'm going to speak my truth to power. And the people that are into it are going to be into it. The people that are not, cool. I don't have to lie. No lies needed. People who don't want my truth, go somewhere else. But when you have a boss, it's different. It's different. They would try to argue that it's not different. I'm telling you, it's very different. I've had a job. I've worked at jobs for 30 years. I've worked for jobs for 30 years at prestigious Fortune 100 corporations. I never liked it. There are requirements of jobs. You have to do what supervisors and managers and coordinators and directors want you to do. We all know this. They will lie and say they have control they don't. He's got a platform on the
And I want to mention, because I know we'll get into this and I can speak more specifically about Mike Bloomberg, on stage you will have a guy who wrote the crime bill, a guy who voted for the crime bill, a guy who couldn't control his local police department, a guy who sicked his police department on people, a woman who allowed a young man to stay in jail and didn't do anything about it, and Elizabeth Warren.
And highly unproblematic, very pro-poor,
Yes.
pro-economy,
Yes.
pro-everything.
Isn't that
Elizabeth
crazy?
Warren.
Isn't that crazy?
Like the best
The
candidate
absolutely
is like
non-problematic
least
person?
problematic. She's done nothing but help advance policies that have helped
Isn't
black
that
people,
crazy?
like brown people,
Yes.
the poor people,
Got
the gay
black people working
the
for
woman
her.
people,
Yes.
got black people up and down, all the Twitters, all the social media, the least problematic, and yet she's repeatedly ignored.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
Odd.
Is it funny?
Odd.
Or
It's-
does it
it's-
speak volumes about the country that we actually live in?
It really does.
Well, it speaks volumes about how frightened people have become. I mean,
the bulk of our questions can be answered in that clip about why certain people feel the way they do about Bernie Sanders. And I think it's time for people to just admit it. Why can't anybody say it? They don't feel that Bernie Sanders hires enough black people. You heard them say it. You heard them say it. You heard them agree. They need jobs, Johnson. Earlier in this same broadcast, Karen Hunter says, I want to be full disclosure. I'll work with Michael Bloomberg. They need jobs, Johnson. See, everybody doesn't want to do what I have to do. They don't want to actually put years and years of their life, work and grind from zero up and put up with BS and try to grow it, and put up with BS and try to grow it, and watch other people excel and try to grow it, and try things and fail and try and fail and try and fail. Some people just want to go in and pick up their check. They got bills. And Elizabeth Warren is writing checks. Just like Michael Bloomberg. She's writing checks to blacks. And they don't feel that Bernie Sanders is writing up checks to black people. I never applied for a job with him, so I can't say anything to that. I can't speak to that. But this is something people have been complaining about. And this is why they are the way they are. If they was getting money, they'd be shutting the hell up. If Jason Johnson was getting money from Bernie, he would shut up. If Karen Hunter was getting money from from Bernie Sanders, she wouldn't have anything to say. The same thing for the other lady. They can say what they want. They cannot deny it. I'm being honestly unbiased as possible, and I'm saying I understand. Being me is hard. Being independent is hard. People love you today, they hate you tomorrow. Building something from the bottom up is hard. That's why so few people do it. Even Andrew Yang, who we'll talk about later, everyone knows him. He's known. He's got like 40% of America know who he is probably at this point. He's got money saved up now. Who knows, right? I don't know. What does he do? Does he go start his own network? No, it's too hard. He goes and takes a job at CNN because it's hard to build your own thing. But what I'm trying to tell you is there are people who need jobs and paychecks, and Elizabeth's hiring blacks. Is Elizabeth really better than Bernie or black issues? I mean, really? I don't think she is, Johnson. I think what it is she's paying some people you know. I happen to know she's paying people you know. I happen to know people who are getting paychecks. I happen to know this. It's not a secret. It's a secret to people who just view content. They don't know what's going on. They may not know what's going on with who's getting paid, how much money people get paid. But there are people on salary. Michael Bloomberg. I heard that Michael Bloomberg give people $6 to $10 grand a month to be just regular staff people, just do stuff. It's not incredible amounts of money. Depending on where you live in the country, that could be a lot of money or not so much money, but it's still money. It still counts, no matter where you live. So some people are like, what? $10,000? Some people are like, that's pretty good. I think it's good money. But I done worked so long for myself, I don't, it had to be 10 times, it had to be like $50,000 a month, $30,000 for me, so I could put it into my business. Because I can't have nobody telling me what to do. You need to do that. What in the hell? So anyway, the point is, back to the point, guys, the point is that they just said it, guys. It's not me. They just said it. Bernie Sanders is not paying black people. Not enough black people. Not enough born in America, ADOS, hashtag ADOS people, money. And you have to. I heard Tail on my show with Irami, the funky academic. He said, I'm on your show, so I'll say this. Elizabeth Warren paid some pastors in South Carolina. I don't know if Bernie's doing that. Guys, did you hear what I said? Are we listening? Are you following me? Elizabeth Warren, according to, I don't know if he was just saying he heard this. I don't know if this is, but he said it on my show. He said, I'm going to tell you this because I'm on your show. I heard, I think he said I heard. I think he prefaced it with I heard. I heard Elizabeth Warren is paying pastors in South Carolina for some of those endorsements. That's what I heard, Johnson. That's what he said that he heard, and that's what I heard him say. Okay? So, hey, I don't know if Bernie's doing the same thing. We know Bloomberg's doing it. Will that change people's opinion of you? Would the money that you hand out change the opinion of you? Maybe it would. Maybe it does change the opinion of people. People got bills. I don't even know how to feel about it. I'm so far removed from being an employee, I don't even know what it feels like anymore. I know I work a lot harder than I used to. That's all I know. I know I got people in my family go, Tim, you need to take a break. I have people that love me going, Tim, you work all the time. You do 100+ hours a week. And you still make a third of what you used to make, if that. But it ain't about the money. But I'm so far removed from having a job, I know I don't look at it like normal, like working people look at it, like people who have jobs look at it, okay? So I'm not crapping on them for it, but I'm saying let's not act like that's not part of it. Like, I like people to give me money more than people who don't. All right, so that's part of it. Let's keep it real, Johnson. Let's keep it real, Johnsons. Black people say you want our vote, but you don't hire us. You want our support, but you won't hire us. But you hire white folks. So Bernie hired some black folks. Evidently, he didn't hire enough black folks. He didn't hire these black folks because these black folks are running him down. And if he had paid these black folks, they would not be talking about how great Elizabeth Warren is, how she's not problematic. As if Bernie's problematic and Elizabeth Warren is not. As if Elizabeth Warren is more electable than Bernie Sanders. As if Elizabeth Warren has a movement. Elizabeth Warren doesn't have a movement around her. Come on. What are we doing? You just want to check or you want to actually change shit? Elizabeth Warren does not have a movement. She didn't have field offices everywhere. Not to Bernie. She doesn't stack up. She doesn't have the following that Bernie has. She is not. It's just not. You know it and I know it. It's obvious. It's numbers. It's math. You know it. Why would you sit there and lie to yourself and lie to people listening to you as if it's that, like it's a toss-up? It ain't a toss-up. Just say you like Elizabeth Warren and she pays money to black people more. And your cousin got paid, or maybe you got paid, or maybe you're going to be hosting an event. You think Julian Castro's running around for free? I don't think he is, Johnson. Look, don't sue me. I don't have any money, Julian. You can't take my mic. But let's not pretend, dog.